Hey everybody, I'm Lashes Lane, and this is episode 2 of the Sober Showgirl podcast. I am so excited to be here hanging out with you guys, and I'm really excited to introduce you to my co-host for this episode, a very special co-host, may I add. He was trying to make an appearance in my first episode, and if you were watching the video version of the episode, you probably saw him pop his head in a few times. It is one of my cats, Mr. Dude. Mr. Dude is a cute little tuxedo boy. He's all fancy. He is ready for this episode, and he's gonna hang out with us. So we'll see if he stays for the full episode. If this is your first time tuning in, hi, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. If this is not your first time tuning in and you've been here before, hi, welcome back. I'm really excited to have you guys. And this is episode 2. So I just wanted to say I am so beside myself with the response that episode 1 got. Thank you guys so much for streaming it. Thank you for sharing it with your friends. Thank you guys so much for the overwhelming amount of love and support. This topic is truly something that is so important to me. And to have you guys share the episode and send messages and write sweet comments, it really did mean the world to me. And I'm just really excited to continue on with this journey, keep making more episodes, keep talking about all of these amazing things, and to be on this journey with all of you. Thanksgiving was just this past week. My first episode ever was about staying sober through the holidays. I will be doing another holiday episode when we get closer to Christmas, but I just want to say congrats on a sober Thanksgiving. We did it, and it's really awesome. If maybe you're tuning in because you didn't have a sober Thanksgiving and you want to have a sober Christmas, maybe stream my first episode for those tips and tricks, and then stay tuned for the next holiday episode that will be coming to you before Christmas. I'm so excited to do today's topic. It is a topic that is so important to me as a performer, and I think it's a topic that everyone can relate to, even if you're not a performer. Today's topic is liquid courage. Yeah, liquid courage, something that we've heard probably since before we could drink. We've heard people say, oh, I'm going to need a little liquid courage. And as a kid, you're like, what's that? And they're like, oh, I just need a little drink so I can do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, oh, that's what you need. That's what you need to be fun on the dance floor at the wedding. That's what you need to sing karaoke at the karaoke party. That's what you need to give that big speech. You just need that liquid courage. False. You do not. You do not need liquid courage to do anything that you want to do. Courage comes from inside of you. Liquid courage is not real. It is a false sense of euphoria that you get from having that drink and feeling like you can do something. But you know what? If you have a couple of drinks and then you've got that liquid courage, you also are not as sharp as you should be. And you might not be doing the best job. You might not be giving it your all because you're not all there. And that is what I truly believe. I think that the people who say, oh, I can't get on stage until I've had a drink, I think that's just, I almost said a swear word. And I'm trying not to swear on this podcast. Ooh, swear word. No, I think it's bull crap. I really do. I just think that if it's something that you want to do and it's something that's you're passionate about, if it's something you're passionate about, you do not need a drink to do it. You don't need a drink before you get on stage. It's not going to make you a better guitar player. It's not going to make you a better singer. It's not going to make you a better piano player. It's not going to make you a better dancer. It's going to make you feel maybe this sense of this false sense of feeling all loosey-goosey. But that's just false. It's not authentic. It's not tapping into your authentic self and who you really are as a person, as a performer. Your authentic self is in your soul. And a drink doesn't bring that out. A drink's not bringing out your true personality. I used to think that my personality was unlocked after a few glasses of champagne, and that is so false. So false. That was not my true personality. That was not really like who I am. And it took me to stop drinking to reconnect with who I truly am as a person. And I like me better now. So much better. I feel like I really know who I am. I am a much more present, much more kind, much more understanding, and funnier person now, for that matter. I feel like I am so much funnier now that I don't drink alcohol. I feel like I am a better performer. I'm more present in the moment. And yeah, it's intimidating to get on stage as just you, but isn't that what like being a performer is all about? Is just bearing your soul on stage? Why do we need to be foggy about that, you know? I want to talk about my personal experience with liquid courage and with burlesque. If you guys don't know, I am a burlesque performer and producer. I produce with my burlesque troupe called Bad Witch Burlesque, and I have been a performer for a number of years. When I first started, I was not producing, I was just performing, and I would never get drunk at a show. There was a firm rule of just have 2 drinks. That was the max. So I would have those 2 drinks. I would have one before my act and then one after. It was typically a White Claw. And I felt like I needed it. I felt like it was the thing to do to loosen up. Everyone's like, oh, have a drink. It's your debut. Oh, have just a drink before, you'll loosen up. You know, that's just like a common thing that people say in a dressing room, you know? Or what are you drinking, you know? Just so normalized. A lot of people have a drink before their act, and it's just not something you need. You don't need that liquid courage. You don't need a glass of champagne. You don't need a White Claw. You don't need a vodka soda. Vodka. I said that funny. Vodka soda. No, you don't need a vodka soda to get up on stage and do your thing. I know burlesque, if you're a burlesque performer and you're listening to this, it's intimidating to get up there and be sexy, and people might tell you you need a glass of champagne to really like tap into that sensuality. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You do not need that. I used to think that I needed something in order to unlock that. And now that I've been 2 years without it, I got to tell you that is far from the truth. You don't need anything before a show. Maybe if you want to have like a fun little sparkling water, a fun little non-alcoholic cocktail just to feel festive, but you don't need something that like makes you relax and it's alcohol. For digital shows, I would like pop a bottle of champagne. We just filmed in my living room. I did digital shows with my group, Bad Witch Burlesque, and it was just me, my cameraman, and my husband, and we would just film stuff. So we would just like drink and film. And honestly, there was one night where I drank too much and the footage was bad. The footage was bad. The cameraman was drinking, I was drinking, and our footage was sloppy. So we had to record the next day because it was not so good, you know? I was nervous because it felt so weird to do digital content without a live audience, and I thought that drinking would make it easier, and it just made everything sloppy. And yeah, I had to pay the price and re-record all of it the next day with a freaking hangover. So that's not fun. It's not fun at all. My first live show sober was the Teas of Tarot. Now, I never did a show drunk. I would get drunk like after the show at home just to celebrate, but I have too much anxiety to like actually get drunk at a show. I had too much anxiety to get drunk at a show, rather, because I don't drink at all anymore, obviously. I would always have like a glass of champagne before I would MC a show. So my first show that I hosted live was love spell with Bowditch Burlesque at the Mu Theater in 2021, and I had a glass of champagne before I hosted because I felt like I needed it, because I felt like I wasn't going to be funny without it. I felt like that was how I could unlock the funny host side of my personality. False. I still did a great job. It was, fun, but I did not need it. I did not need that champagne before the show. My first show sober, completely sober, without any kind of champagne before the show or anything like that, was the Teas of Tarot. And it was scary. I was so scared. I felt like I wasn't going to be funny without that glass of champagne before the show. I felt like I needed something to loosen up. I was so nervous. I bought a bottle of the St. Regis champagne just to mimic the effect of having like something alcoholic before the show that was like obviously non-alcoholic, but just to mimic that feeling, the light, sexy bubbles. Dita Von Teese always says she drinks champagne before her show, and I guess I felt like I needed it too. I wanted to like give myself some fun celebration and a drink, and if you know me, you know that champagne used to be like my thing. So I got a non-alcoholic bottle. I was so nervous. I remember a friend of mine giving me a big hug in the parking lot, telling me it was going to be okay and that I didn't need it and I was going to be great. And you know what? It was a great show. It was great. It went so much better than my first show that I produced. It flowed so much better. And as the years went on, everything just got easier. Everything got easier. I am more in touch with my personality and who I am as a host. I am never going to be one of those people who has the announcer voice. Like, that's not me. I'm me. I can't try to be anybody else. You have to be comfortable with who you are, what your style is. Find that style, be authentic, and be proud of that. And that's what makes your performance special. It's not the alcohol. It's not the alcohol bringing out your best performance. It's you taking a look within, saying, hey, what's special about me? What's something that I bring to the table that's unique? What are some things that make me me? Letting those things shine and being confident in them, knowing that there's only one you and you don't need alcohol to be special. You already are special. You already are powerful. You don't need that drink before your show because you're a freaking badass without it. You're sharper. Your dance moves are going to be more poised. You're going to, be more authentic without that drink. That drink is just like watering you down. A lot of people think that having a drink before their show is like enhancing their performance, and it's just watering it down. You don't need it. You don't need it to be you. You don't need it to be special. You are you without it, authentically. And that is something that is so important, and it's something that took me a long time to learn. It took me a long time to learn. And I was horrified my first show, being like completely sober, not having a light little buzz was terrifying, but it was so much better. Like, I was like, oh my God, that was so much better than any show I've ever done with a drink in my hand, And I was proud of that. And that just continued to grow and blossom as the years went on. And I just think that is such a cool thing. I learned that I am funnier, smarter, quippier, a better host without alcohol. I never needed it. That glass of champagne was not necessary. It didn't make me better. And I am just so much better without it. You are better without it. We are better without it. We don't need alcohol to get on stage. We never did, and we never will. What I realized in my sobriety is that alcohol makes us forget who we really are. We start drinking. We start drinking at parties with friends. We start drinking normally, And we forget how to be us in social situations. Before we ever touch a glass of alcohol when we're children, running around playing with our friends, being silly, playing pretend, we are us. We're being authentically us. We have that whimsy, we have that magic. You start introducing alcohol into social interactions and you start to lose yourself. You start to lose who you really are, and you start to kind of rely on this alcohol for social situations. You feel like, oh my God, I need alcohol to drink. Like, I'm meeting friends at a bar, I'm meeting new people, I need alcohol. Of course, like, I'm going on a date, I need a drink. Oh, I'm a little nervous, I need a drink. I am, going to a big conference. Oh, I'm going to make a presentation. I need at least one drink. I need, at least like a little bourbon on the rocks before my big presentation. I'm nervous. Why do we need it? What made us lose touch of who we are? It's alcohol. We never needed it before, like when we were young, before we started drinking, we were just us. We become adults. It becomes so normalized in society that we need alcohol to have a good time. We need alcohol to dance. We need alcohol to go on a date. We need alcohol all the time. And we don't need it. It's just so in our face that it's something that like we need. It's something that creates courage. It's something that makes you, more fun. It makes you less fun. It gives you a hangover, and it's just not a good way to like be your authentic self. The last 2 years have honestly been two of the biggest years of my career as a performer. I have performed with some amazing troupes as a burlesque dancer all around the state. I have produced back-to-back sold-out shows with my burlesque troupe. I have performed as a singer in my husband's rock band, singing the song Rotten Rose at a huge festival. I performed at Incarceration Festival with Sid Stratton singing. I've really stepped into my power as a singer, and that singing specifically is something that I never thought that I could do without alcohol. I was definitely one of those people that always needed a drink before I sang, which is crazy because when I was younger, I would just sing all the time, and I don't really know when that changed. I'm not really sure when I got nervous about singing. I was singing all the time at the top of my lungs as a kid, and then something just like shifted in me, and it felt nerve-wracking and embarrassing to sing. I don't know if it's when I started doing entertainment full time. I was a Disney princess. I started at age 17, and I became friends with vocalists that were, professional vocalists. And as a teenage girl with no vocal training, maybe I got intimidated. I don't really know. I haven't really unboxed that part of myself yet. I don't really know what shifted and made me think that I needed a drink before I sang. Trigger warning for anyone who has suffered from an eating disorder. I know I did lose my voice for a couple years because I was bulimic, and I deeply suffered from that to the point of talking in an extremely hoarse voice and losing my voice completely for a number of years, to the point where I couldn't even sing. So singing with my husband's band on stage has truly been a dream come true. I did start the journey completely sober, and I was so nervous. Felt like there was nothing, it was just me. There was nothing numbing my senses. It was just me up on that stage, and that was really nerve-wracking. But I fought through it sober, and my stage presence as a singer is growing with every performance. My last show, I watched a video and I was like, wow, I can't believe that that's me. I'm getting emotional. I just never, in my wildest dreams, thought that I could get up on stage and sing without even like one drink. And the fact that I can get up on stage and use my voice in a way that I never thought I feared, at least, that I might not be able to ever do that again after I lost my voice for a couple years to bulimia. I never thought, I just dreamed that I would be able to sing again. And the fact that I'm doing it now sober, it's really cool. And I didn't think that I was going to start crying on today's episode, but I think that's one of the reasons why liquid courage and the topic of liquid courage is so important to me, is because I didn't think I would be able to ever sing on a stage without a drink. You know, to me, like, that's just so cool that I can do that now. And it's just something that I'm so glad I can share with you guys. Like, you just really don't need that drink to achieve your goals and your dreams. I'll say it again, alcohol just waters you down, and you don't need it. It does not enhance your performing. If you're listening to this and you're like, but I need to drink. No, you don't. You're a better performer without it. You're a better performer without it. You don't need it before you get on stage. You don't need it before you speak at a conference. You don't need it. And if you're not a performer and you're listening to this, I want to tell you that you don't need it to have a good time at a party. You don't need it if you have social anxiety. I mean, I guess if you're a performer, this applies to you as well, because a lot of performers I know have social anxiety. You don't need alcohol to be fun. You don't need alcohol to bring out your personality. You really don't. You really don't. Maybe you're going to karaoke with your friends and you want to sing and you feel like you need a drink, but you don't. If you're like, but I'm not a singer, well, no one at karaoke is a singer. Nobody. Except for like those two people who like are musical theater kids and they always do Broadway songs. They're probably singers. Because there's always like two. You guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. I just want to say that no matter where you're at your sober journey, no matter what goals you have to achieve, no matter what dreams you are dreaming, you don't need to achieve any of those with alcohol. You don't need alcohol to do anything. You are so great without it. And I want you guys to really take a look at who you are as a person and think about what makes you special. So don't think about alcohol. You know, next time you think you need liquid courage, don't think about what alcohol is going to do for you. Think about the things that make you special. Think about the things that make you unique. If you want to write them down on a piece of paper, keep them by your bed, put them on your mirror, write some things that you love about yourself. Things that are facts about your authentic personality, your alcohol-free authentic personality, right? That you have a really kind heart, right? That you are funny, right? That you're smart. Write all those things down, look at them, remind yourself who you are. Now, if you're a performer, I do have some advice for you in regards to having courage on stage. If you feel like you need liquid courage and you are a performer, take some time to look at yourself in the mirror and practice your routines. I like to record myself, even though sometimes watching yourself back on recordings can be a painful process. I did it for my Spooky Empire performance. I recorded myself multiple times and I watched my act, and I gave myself a lot of notes. It was tough, but I practiced over and over and over and over until I was confident with my movements and confident with myself. You do not need that alcohol to be confident, but you can set yourself up for success in other ways by practicing a little bit more. If let's say your song's 5 minutes, it takes you like 1 or 2 minutes to get into costume. Give yourself 30, 40 minutes of rehearsal each day. Let's say you don't have 40 minutes. Let's say you're working nonstop. Give yourself 20 minutes. Run it like 3 times. I'm factoring in time to like put your costume back on and like get a sip of water, but give yourself like 20 minutes each day. Give yourself a little rehearsal time. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel way more confident. And then don't be afraid to bring a single serving mocktail to your gig with you. You don't need liquid courage from alcohol, but you can still give yourself a fun little treat that perks your mood up and makes you feel fancy. I like the Fomosas. They come in single serving cans. I like the Groovy Rosé. They come in single serving bottles. I love hop water. Bring one of those things, throw it in your gig bag, and sip on that before your show. Give yourself something fun, a fun treat that isn't necessarily like liquid courage, but it's something that like makes you go, yay, this is a celebration. Something special. Definitely look within yourself. Think about all the things that make you unique. Remember that you are different from everybody else. You are unique in your own special way. You're never going to be like that person. You're never going to be like that person. You're your own person. That is special. And lean into all of those things that make you different, and feel that confidence ooze, just ooze out. Don't be afraid to build yourself up. You don't need to knock yourself down. You don't need to say, well, I'm not as good at XYZ as this person. Who cares? You're you. You have your own special skills, your own special skill set, and your own things that make you you. So just remember that and try to let that make you confident. You don't need a drink to be confident. You just need to believe in yourself. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. I still get nervous before a show, and I gotta tell you, having a drink never made me less nervous. Truly, it never did. I still was nervous. I just had a drink in my hand. I like to take deep breaths. I like to remember that I know what I'm doing. I like to remember that I am where I'm at for a reason. And I want you guys to remember those things too. Don't forget, you know what you're doing. You've done this before. Even if it's a brand new routine, you've practiced in your living room or in your rehearsal space. You know your music. You know what you're going to do. If you're a singer, you know these songs. You were at practice. You practiced them. And you know you're going to get up there and do a great job. Just take some deep breaths. Remember who you are. Remember you know what you're doing. And you are where you're at because you're supposed to be there. Now, if you're not a performer and maybe you have a wedding coming up, maybe you have a party coming up, social activities, maybe it's a family party. I mean, it is the holidays still. You don't need alcohol to be funny. You don't need liquid courage for that date that you have planned. You don't need liquid courage for game night, for trivia night, for karaoke night. You just need to be you because you are cooler sober. You're funnier sober, and you're more fun to be around sober. So don't forget that. Don't forget what makes you special, and just be comfortable being you. It might take a little while for you to get to know yourself again once you stop drinking. It's a process. It's going to take a couple months. It's not going to come right away, but have faith in your journey and have faith in yourself. And just remember that you are amazing without alcohol. I believe in you. I believe in what you are doing, and I believe that you are 100% cooler without a drink. And my friends, I think that wraps up episode 2. I am so glad that we got to talk about liquid courage today and talk about how we don't need it. We do not need that liquid courage. We do not need that drink. We are so much cooler without alcohol. We can do anything without alcohol. We can get up on stage and perform. We can dance at that wedding. We can do whatever we want, booze free. We don't need that drink to be our coolest, most authentic selves. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm really excited for the next episode and the next episode and the next episode. If you guys have topics that you want me to touch on, please send me a DM. You can reach me on my personal Instagram at Lashes Lane or the Sober Showgirl Instagram, which is at the Sober Showgirl. I love you guys so much, and I am so glad that we are on this journey together. Thank you guys for being here. And until next time, I'm Lashes Lane, and this has been the Sober Showgirl. Bye, guys. Love you.